Hi everyone, welcome to the FOLD Kids Bookfest. My name is Zuri, I'm 11 years old, and I live in Brampton. I'm very excited to welcome you to today's event. This event is called Not So Different. I'd like to invite Jael Richardson in now, who will be hosting with me today.
Hello, Zuri. How are you?
Hi, I'm good.
You did all right. You did a great job with that opening. I'm very, very excited to be here. This is a really exciting event. This is our second event of the day. And I'm really excited about it because it's the first time I'm getting to host with Zuri, with a kid. He's not just doing that opening. We're going to ask some questions today. And I will say today's event is all about being curious and asking questions and asking really thoughtful questions. But before we get into all of that, Zuri, I thought maybe we'd ask people a little bit of a question, a little bit of a test question, like a pop quiz. What do you think about that?
That sounds good.
You like pop quizzes? You like when your teacher comes into the class and says, boom, there's a test. Okay, so it's not a super hard question. It's just to get us thinking about today. I'm going to put a poll up. So you should see this come up on your screen, and it's to get you thinking about today's conversation and about what it means to write a true story and what true stories are called. So today's book, the author wrote a real book about their life. What are books that are true called? Are they called fiction, nonfiction, documentary, or make-believe? So you should be able to see the question up there. Don't mind the wording. I typo all the time. And so what are books that are true called? Are they called fiction? Are they called nonfiction? Are they called documentaries? Or are they called make-believe? So you can take a few seconds. We're going to try and get everyone to answer. So if you're watching or participating and you can see the question, just click on the one that you think is correct. We have about a quarter of you have voted, now half. Let's see if we can get everybody. Zuri, do you think you know the answer?
Yes.
All right, just hold on for 1 second. We're going to wait 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, we're going to close off the poll. If you didn't get a chance to answer, or if you're watching this on playback, just write it down next to you. What do you think a true story is called? A lot of you shared that you thought the answer could be nonfiction, and some of you shared that the answer might be documentary, which those are two really good guesses. That's sort of how it came out. About 88% of you said nonfiction, and some of you said documentary. The truth is, what is the correct answer, Zuri?
No, nonfiction.
Nonfiction. So fiction is made up stories. Nonfiction are true stories. Documentaries are nonfiction, but in film. So that's where a little bit of confusion might have come. So today's story is a true story, and it's called Not So Different. And it's based on the fact that, I want you to think about the fact that how many of you have ever been teased about something? Maybe there's something that at school you were picked on, or people just made comments or made you feel bad. Zuri, have you ever been teased? I know you used to live in Japan, so I was curious about whether you've ever had something like that happen to you.
Like when I went to school, me and my friend used to get teased because of our skin color. And
how did that make you feel?
like um it made me feel like I didn't think it was right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot of what happens, I think, when people feel like somebody's different. So you and your friend were the only Black kids at the school, and so some of the kids would make fun of you because of the color of your skin, which is not cool. It's not okay. And that's a lot of what we want to talk about today, what it means to be different, to be not so different, because the truth is we're all different. We all look a little different. We all move a little differently. And so it's about understanding what's unique and being able to celebrate that. So our guest today has a condition known as spinal muscular atrophy, and I'm going to have him explain a little bit more about what that is. I didn't know about it, and I got a chance to read his book. It's called Not So Different. Look, it's doing crazy things because it's green, and I have a green screen. And so this book is just for kids. Shane also happens to have a YouTube channel that he hosts with his wife. But this book is just for kids. It's called Not So Different. And Zuri, you had a chance to read it beforehand. What did you like about the book? Because I know that was something you said you're really interested in it.
I like that the author Shane was really open about how he feels and about how it is having spinal
Muscular atrophy. You can call it
spinal,
SMA. Yeah.
having SMA. And yeah, I thought it was really cool how like he showed that it's okay to be different and it's actually good to be different, and like that he was making the best out of what he had.
I love that. And the cool thing about this book is that it's set up a lot like what we're going to do today. So there are questions in the book, and then they get answered. So I'll find a page. So there's stuff like this. So it's all about the kind of questions you ask. And then there's pictures and explanations. So I've shown enough about the book. Shane is here. Let's bring Shane out and have a chat with him. Shane, are you there? Hey!
Hello.
How are you?
I am good. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you because, I mean, this is one of the cool things about virtual mode is that we can kind of go anywhere because you're not in Canada, right?
I am not in Canada. I live in Minneapolis, Minnesota, so I'm not that far from Canada. I think it's about a 6-hour drive north, maybe. I've never been to Canada. I really would love to visit one day. But yeah, I live in Minneapolis with my wife and our dog, Chloe.
And Chloe might make an appearance. We've been warned here. And so, I mean, Zuri, I know you've been to the States. Your grandparents live in Tennessee. Yeah. So you travel there a lot. I travel there a lot. What do you know what province is right north of you? Like if you were to drive the 6 hours north to Canada?
Oh, no, now you're showing that I don't know my geography.
Either. I don't either.
I don't know.
There's certain states where I know where they are, and then there's others that are just like they're over there.
Yeah.
So it's probably the same for you. Okay, so we're going to ask you some questions. Right. I am going to pass it over to Zuri actually to ask the first question.
What's it like living with spinal muscular atrophy, and what does it do to you?
That is a great question. Thank you. So spinal muscular atrophy is a disease that I was born with. So I had it from the moment I was born. And basically what it means is that all of the muscles in my body are very weak. So if you think about your typical day and everything that you do in a day, like you wake up and you get out of bed and maybe you walk to the bathroom and you brush your teeth and you comb your hair, all of those things require muscles. The muscles in your arms, in your legs, and having strong muscles is what allows people to walk and brush their teeth and comb their hair and do everything that you do in a day. My muscles have always been pretty weak, and so I have to do things a little bit differently. I'm not able to stand or walk. I'm not able to move my arms very much, a little bit. But because of that, I use a wheelchair. So I have this awesome electric wheelchair that drives about 10 miles an hour, and I sit in it during the day, and I have a little joystick that helps me move around, and it gets me everywhere I need to go. So I've always done things a little bit differently. I've had to adapt to how I do my daily life. And my life is pretty normal otherwise. Even though I can't walk and can't run, I have a job and a career as a writer that I love. I make YouTube videos with my wife. And I love doing things like reading and taking our dog for walks, going out to eat. Well, I used to like that back when it was safe. But yeah, my life is pretty normal, and SMA just makes me a little bit weaker. So I find other ways to do my daily life.
I had a question. One of the questions in the book was one of the first questions where you share some of that information is a question you get a lot, which is people saying, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
And I'm curious about, because I think a lot of people, a lot of kids in particular, but even some adults, that's the first question that comes to mind, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious about like what should people ask in order to get that kind of like knowledge that they might just be curious about and not have?
Yeah, so I think the first question that should always be asked, if you're feeling curious about someone or something, is to first ask the person, may I ask you some questions? Because not everyone always feels comfortable talking about themselves or their differences or disabilities. So I would love, if you're ever feeling curious, let's say you see me out in public and you say, whoa, that's a pretty sweet wheelchair. I want to learn more about that. Maybe come up and say, hi, my name is whatever your name is, and may I ask you some questions? And I'll say yes, I love answering questions. And then maybe ask me, what does that wheelchair help you do? Or, what do you like about your wheelchair? I don't like the question, what is wrong with you? Because there is nothing wrong with me. I use a wheelchair to move around, and I need a little bit of help here and there, like getting things out of the refrigerator or things that require muscles. And so there really isn't anything wrong with me. I just do things a little bit differently.
Well, that's a great lead into the fact that today there's a Q&A box that you'll see on your screen. And if you have questions today for Shane about SMA, about his writing, about anything that he's talking about, or even questions for Zuri, if you want to ask him something, you can pop that right into that Q&A box, and we will get to those questions over the course of the conversation. We're going to be here for about half hour or so. So make sure you put those questions in, because this is like such a perfect time to ask, and we want you to be curious. Zuri, did you have another question?
You said that SMA affects your muscles. I was wondering how you get around and do things like eating and like different stuff that uses.
Yeah, so I tried to beat you to it a little bit. I told you about my wheelchair. My wheelchair is probably single-handedly the most important device in my life. It allows me to go anywhere I need to go, outside, to meetings, to visit friends and family. And so my wheelchair is really helpful. Other things like to eat, I'm able to feed myself using a fork or a spoon, but I do need help having my food cut up for me. So my wife will help me cut my food into small pieces, because the mouth also uses muscles. So when you open and close your mouth, you're using muscles, and mine are weak. And so if my food is not cut real small, I have trouble chewing it. So that's another example. And my wife helps me with other things like washing my face or combing my hair or putting my jacket on, which I can't believe it's almost winter here again. And I'm sure all of you in Canada understand that. Minneapolis is very similar in that we have very cold and long winters. I'm not ready for it yet. But my wife helps me put my coat and my boots on. So I do rely on other people for help with many of the activities of my life, but that's okay. They enjoy helping me, and I know that I'm very grateful for their help. So it works really well.
Do you have another question, Zuri? I think.
What was it like for you at school?
Good question. So I loved school. I miss it, honestly. Now that I'm an adult, I look back on my school years with so many fond memories. I rode a school bus to school that had a ramp that would fold out of the side of the bus and lower down, and I would drive onto it in my wheelchair. The ramp would pick me up into the bus, and then the bus driver would strap my wheelchair down so that I didn't fly all over the place when he ran over bumps along the way. At school, my friends and my teachers were wonderful about helping me with some of the things that I needed throughout the day. Like when I would get to class, I would turn to my friend or whoever was sitting next to me and say, hey, could you please get my folders out of my book bag since I'm not able to reach behind me to get them, and they would help me do that. And then they would put them on my desk for me and make sure I had my pencil and my calculator or whatever I needed within my reach. So they were great about that. There were a few times here and there when other kids would say things that were not always that nice about the way I looked or the fact that I use a wheelchair. And that always really upset me, because if they had just gotten to know me, they would see that I was just like them. I enjoyed recess and playing outside and learning and having fun. I was no different than they were. So it bothered me when they would make up things or say mean things about my disease or my wheelchair. But for the most part, that didn't happen very often, and school was a lot of fun, and I miss it.
And did you go after high school? Did you do anything after high school, and how did that?
Yep. So I graduated high school in 2010, which makes me feel very old.
You're so young.
And then I went to college. I studied journalism. I have an English journalism degree from Moravian College in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. It was a smaller liberal arts college, and I, again, really miss it. I had a great time in college learning about all kinds of different things that I never had even thought about in high school. So that was something that I really enjoyed. And my college had amazing cheese fries, which I got every day.
I love French fries. Oh my gosh. So we have to think about them all day now. Thanks, Shane. Zuri, do you eat French fries?
Pardon?
Do you eat French fries? Do you like French fries?
Yes.
I know you like French fries.
It's the best food. I think we should just talk about food the rest of today.
Yes. Favorite foods. Favorite foods. Zuri, do you have a favorite food?
No.
No favorite foods. Just all of it.
Every food is a good food.
He is a big eater.
I agree.
He has a good appetite, as do I. All right. I have a question about the wheelchair, because I think, like, does it need to be charged? Are there times, like, how do you have to, because you rely on it so much, what do you have to do to make sure, like, it's ready for you when you need it?
Yes. So my wheelchair is electric. It runs on batteries. There are two 50-pound batteries in the base of the wheelchair. They are massive batteries. It takes like 2 people to remove them, which luckily you don't have to do very often. But every night I plug my wheelchair into the wall. There's a charger for it, kind of like a phone charger. So I plug it in every night right when I plug my phone in at the same time.
Two important resources.
Yep. And my wheelchair takes about 6 or 7 hours to fully charge. So it happens while I'm sleeping. And then that will last me probably 3 or 4 days. But I charge it pretty often because I don't ever like to have it, run out of battery. There was a time when my wife and I were on a trip in New York City, in the middle of New York City, and my battery on my wheelchair died, and we were stranded in the middle of the sidewalk. So I like to keep it charged whenever possible.
Just takes one of those to be like, never again.
Yep.
Want to be in that situation again. Zuri, did you have another question?
Yeah. And about, like, could you write properly in school?
Yeah, so I was able to hold a pencil or a pen or use a laptop to type with my hands uh, normally until probably the end of high school. And then I got a bit weaker as I got older. That's the way that the disease works. And I had to find a new way because I was no longer able to hold a pencil or a pen or type on my laptop. I found this really helpful and amazing app for my cell phone called Remote Mouse that basically turns my iPhone into a remote keyboard and mouse for my laptop. So I can open this app and type into it with my thumbs. My thumbs are still lightning fast at typing on my phone. And the words that I type on my phone appear on my laptop screen. So I've written all of my books that way. I write 100 emails a day, it feels like sometimes, on my phone. And it's been really helpful because it allows me to do my jobs and to send messages to friends and things like that.
Well, that's so cool. And I think you had a question about the book too. That might be a good follow-up to that, right? Did you have a question about the book? It's okay if you don't. Maybe not. I think there was a question about what it's like to write a book about your life. And so, I mean, you talk about the like actual how you did it, but
Yeah.
What's that like in terms of the process of creating a book and writing a story?
Yeah. So prior to writing this picture book, I had written some longer chapter books. And so when the publisher asked me about writing a picture book, I thought, oh, that's going to be short and simple, and I'll be done with it in a few days. And I was very wrong. The process of writing a book about my life, a picture book about my life, was so eye-opening to see how much work and time and energy goes into making every sentence as perfect as it can be. And I love that about writing. The editing process is probably my favorite part of the whole thing. So I would write a draft of the whole book and then send it to my editor, and she would come back with edits, and I would think about them and make some changes and then send it back, and then she would make more edits and send it back. And we did that process back and forth for 6 months, I think. So it was really interesting. And then the other part of it is trying to figure out how you can talk about your life in a way that will make sense to other people. So I had to think about what were the most important messages that I wanted to get across to the reader, and then how I could talk about those messages in a fun and interesting way. So it was a really challenging and interesting process.
I want to show this page because it's one of the most interesting. It's always so hard to. Sorry, the dinosaur disappears because he's green. But it's this really cool way about talking to kids about things that are, the question on this page is, how do you do things? And It shows the T-Rex, and the idea is about like how awesome T-Rexes are, even though, they have short arms and they're not able to do certain things. They have this really, overall really awesome capabilities. And so I love that. But one of the things about the book that I want to ask you about, I'm going to bring up a picture too, is that the book's actually kind of out of date now. There's some things in it that have changed. And so I want to pull up an image. First, I'll show some awesome pictures of your wife and you as you travel and the different ways in different places that you go. But this picture was one of the ones that I was really curious about talking about. Like, what is this picture and what's happening?
Yeah, so this is a photo of me in the hospital. You can see my beautiful hospital down there. And then on my head, I'm just being silly by putting it on my head, but this is a box of medicine that was invented to help my disease, help make me stronger, basically. In my book, I say, and I wrote it probably 4 or 5 years ago, at that point, there were no medicines, no treatments for my disease. So as I got older, as I was saying, I would get weaker over time. And that was why I kind of lost that ability to hold a pencil, and I lost other abilities along the way. But there were lots and lots of scientists and researchers who were looking for medicines that they could make that might help me not get, me and everyone else with SMA, not get weaker as they got older. And eventually they did find some solutions. This was the first treatment that was ever approved for SMA, called Spinraza, which I love the name of. And I began receiving it about 3 years ago. And because of it, I am now no longer getting weaker as I get older, which is a really cool thing, because I know that I will always have the ability that I have now in the future. So yeah, that's a pretty big update that unfortunately I was not able to put in the book because it was published before it happened, but a very cool thing nonetheless.
Well, one of the things I wanted to ask as well, because I think in your YouTube, do you have a question about the YouTube channel, Zuri?
Yes. I was wondering, what's it like to have your own YouTube show? Do people recognize you on the street?
Having our YouTube channel has been such a wild adventure over the last 2 years. When we started it 2 years ago, and Hannah and I basically just made videos about our life and our travels, and our relationship. And when we began, we had like 0 subscribers, and that's very normal. And it began to grow slowly. We had 10, and then 100, and then 1,000. And we were like, wow, this is really cool. Like, people are enjoying our videos. They're laughing along with us, and they're enjoying what they see. So we kept making videos because we love doing it. And after about 6 months, our channel exploded, and we had 100,000 followers, and then 200,000, and then 500,000. And the whole time we were like, what is going on? Like, we would go to the grocery store together, and people would be coming up to us like, I follow you on YouTube. And it was just such a weird and awesome thing. Today, we have about 700,000 followers, which still astounds me. We love what we do, and we really appreciate everyone that watches our videos.
I love that. One of the things on your video that I was going to ask about is you're always so funny. Like, they're really funny to watch. And I'm curious, just so you know, parents, they are not, the book is for kids. The YouTube channel is not universally for all kids. So
not every video, yeah.
So if you want, just make sure you check them out before you share, or watch them with your kid. You might want to preview them. But what I really loved about them is the humor, but I also love that at times you talk about like the difficult things. And so I wondered if you could share, like, what's the best thing, the coolest thing that goes on in your life? And what's the thing that's like just something that's kind of difficult? Because I think kids always need to know, like, very real, something's good, something's not so good in all of us. Yeah.
So let's start with the stuff that's not always the best. And it's very related to the stuff that I talk about in my book. Because of the way that I look, the fact that I am kind of small because my muscles never grew to a regular size, because I use a wheelchair, because my head is a lot bigger than the rest of my body. People out in the world, strangers, don't always treat me with kindness and respect. Sometimes when I meet new people, they will talk to me like I am a 5-year-old, and they'll speak very slowly to me, and they'll pat me on the head like I'm a puppy, even though I'm a 28-year-old man with a wife and a career. So that is a little bit annoying at times, making videos about our life and reading comments from other people that are basically making fun of me for being different. That is the kind of thing that Hannah and I are trying to change. We're trying to make videos to show people that even though I do things a little bit differently, our life is still wonderful and exciting and adventurous, and just full of happiness. And so that's the negative side, or the challenging part of it. But I think the best part is being able to show people, how fun and funny our life is. Hannah and I, prior to the pandemic, were able to do a lot of speaking engagements, traveling all around the world to do them. And that was so cool to be able to get in front of an audience, kind of like I am now, and just share my story with people and showing them that disability is not a bad thing. And so that's probably the most gratifying and exciting part of it all.
Zuri, did you have one last question before we go to the question and answer box? And if you're watching, this is a great time to put those curiosity questions in the Q&A box for us to ask Shane.
In your book, it says you like sports. My favorite sport is basketball. What's your favorite sport?
I love all sports. First, I have a question for you. Who is going to win the NBA championship?
This is so good.
You have a team?
Lakers.
I had a feeling you would say the Lakers. I am pulling for the Nuggets. I hope that they pull off an upset. I'm sorry, I meant the Heat. The Heat. Yeah, the Nuggets will not be winning this year. I think my favorite sport is probably soccer. I love playing soccer. I love watching soccer. I'm able to play soccer in my wheelchair by hitting the ball with the wheels of my chair. One time when I was in high school, I accidentally ran over the soccer ball and flipped out of my wheelchair, which was not as fun. But other than that, I love playing soccer, and I love all sports. Thank you.
I love that. Well, Zuri, did you have anything else before you go? Because I'm going to let you go, and then I'll ask some of the questions from the question and answer box. Any other burning questions on your mind? You can ask anything. No questions. So Zuri, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for asking those questions. I really enjoyed it, and for sharing about your own story. I thought that was really brave of you, and I really appreciate you being here.
Yeah, thank you, Zuri.
We'll talk soon. Okay, so we're going to go into this question and answer box. And Prachi asks, what's your favorite book that you've written? And so, yeah, that's the first question.
Favorite book that I've written? Well, I've written 3 so far. I think this might not be the correct answer, but I think my favorite book is one that I'm writing right now with my wife. We are working on a book where we are interviewing about 30 other couples where one of the members of the relationship has a disability and the other member either does not have a disability or they have a different disability. And what we're doing is trying to show all of the beautiful, awesome differences in relationships that are out there, and show that disability does not mean you can't have a relationship or fall in love. And so we're really excited. We've been doing lots of interviews, and I cannot wait for it to come out. It'll probably be about a year or 2, but we are very excited about that. So I think that's my favorite right now.
Maybe that's the way we get you to Canada eventually, finally.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
So keep us posted for sure. Olivia had a really great question about whether when you were in school, I'm guessing, there were other kids in wheelchairs. And I'm wondering about how much, interaction you had with other people in wheelchairs. Because I know for me, I wasn't around. I didn't have a lot of Black people in my life in certain stages, and that kind of affected like how I saw myself and what I
Right.
thought about myself. So I wondered, were there other kids that had SMA that you were connected to, other kids in wheelchairs too?
So great parallel. I also at times growing up did not have other friends or acquaintances that used wheelchairs, and I think that did affect me. I didn't know. I didn't have anyone that could really relate to what I was going through, and I didn't have anyone that really understood what it was like to be in a wheelchair. As I got older, high school, college, and even well into my adult years, I made lots of friends through the YouTube channel and other ways who have other disabilities or SMA who use wheelchairs. And honestly, sharing stories with them is one of my favorite things, because while we all have different lives and different careers, and we're all doing different things, we all have a lot in common too. From that stuff about the way strangers interact with us and treat us, to kind of the challenges of accessibility in the world. So yeah, getting to know other people that use wheelchairs has been really beneficial for me, and I've really enjoyed it.
Love that. You mentioned your profession, and so one of the questions somebody asked is, Natasha asked, what part of your job do you find the most satisfying?
Ooh, I think above all else, I really enjoy making people laugh. For a long time, I thought I wanted to be a stand-up comedian and just tell jokes for a living. And in a way, I am kind of doing that now. The YouTube channel and my writing allows me to express my humor and make other people laugh. And I just love it so much. I love to laugh. And I think laughter is a really important part of life. So that's my favorite part. Thank you.
Okay, so I have two questions. They could be easy, they might be hard. I don't know.
Yeah.
Alexis wants to know what your favorite color is, and Sue wants to know your favorite country that you visited.
Ooh, favorite color. It changes all the time. I think it's like, oh, actually, the shirt that I have on is a good reflection, like a light blue-ish, maybe, or purple. I don't know. I think that is hard. Purple, blue, gray. I'm just naming every color. Okay.
Gray are like a family, though. They're like a particular, they
Yeah,
belong.
I have a favorite color palette. Yeah, there you go.
Color palette. That's cool too. It's like one of those panels and when you go get paint. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like from blue to gray.
Exactly. Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah. We'll go with that. And then favorite country. Last year, my wife and I were able to visit Poland. Her family is from Poland. Her mom was born in Poland. And so Hannah and her mom and her dad often go back to visit their family that still live there. And last summer, I was able to go for the first time. Poland is it's a country full of amazing history and architecture, and most importantly, delicious food. They have so many dishes that involve potatoes. I love potatoes. So from the pierogi to everything else that they make, I loved eating my way around Poland.
I think potatoes are like the best thing. Like,
yeah.
yay. Is it Idaho? Yay, Idaho.
Yeah.
Love potatoes. Potato soup, potato like French fries, fry them, cook them. I'm with you.
Yeah. That's the theme of today's talk.
The theme today is how to get potatoes into your diet more.
Yeah.
I love it. So Lisa asked a really great question about people and authors who inspired you. And
That's
she mentioned, I should say, because this is really important, she also says, are there teachers and authors, people and authors who inspired you the way you inspire others, which is, of course, hard to take in, but that's the compliment that also came with it.
I really appreciate that. Yeah, I read a lot, and so picking a single author that really has like inspired me the most is challenging. I love to laugh, as I've said. One of my favorite comedy writers is David Sedaris. Is it David Sedaris? I think that's his first name. Yeah. He is one of the funniest authors I've ever read. And so his books years ago kind of opened my eyes to the idea that you can write stories about your own life that make other people, fold over with laughter. His books did that for me. They just made me laugh and laugh and laugh. And it made me realize, like, maybe I would enjoy doing that. So he's a big one. And then there are many, like, stand-up comedians that I really enjoy watching or listening to. Dimitri Martin is one of my favorites. So he inspired me just to, think about humor and jokes in a different way. So yeah, those are two that really inspired me.
Love that. I have one more question and then we're gonna wrap things up. And so my one question is, I think there's a lot of teachers who might be watching this afterwards of all different age levels and grades.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think one of the questions that teachers are often asking is like, how can they support their students, help their students in being like better friends, allies, champions? What can they do in the classroom, either for a student who has SMA or to prepare their kids for what it's like to meet someone who might be in a wheelchair or have a disability that they don't know a lot about?
Yeah, great question. I think the single most important thing is to give students a diverse experience. You can tell them all you want about, people with differences or, different situations that they might encounter in their life, but without firsthand experience or without direct experience, they're going to have a hard time really understanding. And so sharing work by disabled or otherwise different authors, showing videos that involve disability or difference, just giving them lots and lots of experience so that it doesn't feel like this weird kind of rare thing to them. I think it's that feeling of like rarity that makes difference feel so different. And so I think that if you can give them experience and show them that, wheelchair users are just as common as people that walk and their lives are really no different. If they can see that enough, they'll begin to internalize it. And I think that is probably a good way to begin.
I love that. Yeah, I feel, personally, even like, I feel like not until I started working on FOLD and really like talking to people and investing time in these conversations, I didn't really understand some of the problems that even in my thinking about like,
Right.
I mean, there's a real narrative, like everyone with a disability wants to get better, quote unquote, or wants to be healed. And so to talk to people who are just like, this is who I am. It's like, this is who I am. And I love it about myself. I think it's a really powerful thing, which is what I love about the book, because it asks those questions and gives those answers and provides a space for it. So teachers, great recommendation from Shane. I mean, his book is a great way to start with your classroom, and bringing people into the classroom, whether it's virtually or in person to chat, is also a really awesome way. I'm going to share one more thing. So hold tight, teachers and educators who are watching this. But Shane, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for offering your words and your time. It was just a privilege.
I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for the opportunity. I love the festival. So thank you for having me.
All right, you take care. And
All right.
thank you as well. Just a little shout out to Zuri. Thank you for being here as well and for asking such great questions. I want to show just a few things before we go. This is one of our promos for the weekend. If you're watching this on the weekend, you can get Shane's book through Another Story Bookshop up until tomorrow, free shipping, also some goodies like monster reader masks and pins and buttons and things that will also come with your order. So please put those orders in. You can get any FOLD Kids title included in your order, and your shipping will be free. The other thing I wanted to mention is some few events coming up the rest of this weekend. Some of these will be recorded. So if you're watching this later, you can go and see it at the foldcanada.org/past events, and you'll be able to see this really happened. It's going on this afternoon, but will also be a recorded event, and our One Earth Youth Rally event, and Buffy St. Marie. The last thing I want to say, and this is really important, is just a partner organization that reached out to us. They have a film festival that's specifically about disabilities, featuring stories about disability, produced, written by people with disabilities, and it's designed for schools and students and teachers. So check this out. If you're watching right now, take a screenshot of this, and we'll try and send an email out to everyone who registered. But it's a 2-day event for youth celebrating disability and inclusion through film. And so if you're a teacher or educator or anyone watching this and you have the chance to check this out, please do. Thank you so much for being here. Again, my name is Jael Richardson. I'm with the FOLD Canada. We are for October 3rd and 4th, 2020, covering a whole bunch of different stories and events. So please join us for the rest of the day and tomorrow. Bye.